ช่วงนี้คนเมียนมากักตุนน้ำมันกันบ้างนะคะด้วยความกังวลว่าอาจจะเกิดปัญหาขาดตลาดติดตามในอาเซียนคอนเน็กกับคุณทิวลิปนาคสมภพเราค่ะ
อาเซียนคอนเน็กวันนี้นะคะเราจะต่อสายตรงไปพูดคุยกับนักข่าวจากกลุ่มย่างกุ้งในประเทศเมียนมาคุณเดวิดตุนค่ะ How is the electricity?
As you can see, it's rather dark where I am. I have two lamps beside me that is lighting me so that you guys can see me.
So what is the story you have for us today?
It is kind of, in a sense, connected to the daily blackouts.
Right.
There was a fuel shortage scare yesterday in Myanmar, mainly in the major cities of Yangon and Mandalay. But yeah, it kind of spread to all over the country. So it started out when, when the news broke. It was an internal thing apparently, but when the news broke, somebody posted something on Facebook and other social media platforms that, you know, there is a fuel shortage incoming in the country because of because of two reasons. One is that the recent foreign currency policies in Myanmar from the banks, as well as the long holidays I guess you guys will be calling it Songkran there, right? We call it Thinjan. So
yes.
The long holiday here make everything essentially not ready for the country to continually keep using the fuel for whatever purposes. So a lot of people, they were afraid and there were a lot of long queues at the fuel stations, and fuel stations were announcing that they will be temporarily closing for maintenance purposes and so on.
So was it a real shortage or it's more like a public scares?
Well, it's a little bit of both, I have to say, because as soon as the news broke and all of the panic happened and fuel stations, not everywhere, but some of them, they closed temporarily. Or those that keep on opening, they will have a limited amount of supply that they will actually sell, and then they will just turn away the customers.
Right.
So the authorities actually did issue several statements, and the spokesperson for the SAC, the State Administration Council, Major General Somintun, he claims that the country does have enough fuel in the country, but he essentially says that they are trying to keep the fuel prices, the distribution of the fuel prices at a rate of $1.850 Myanmar kyats per dollar. So we have to see that he implies that the fuel companies some of them did not like that, and they announced on their own the shortages, and that the government had already sent warnings to them. Yeah.
Okay, so the government said everything is fine, but they're controlling the price, but the fuel company doesn't like the policy, so they said we are going to limit our sales, that kind of thing?
Unfortunately, it is common African thing. It also tends to happen with medicinal shortages when it was during COVID-19. It kind of happens to be a frequent thing in our country. And there's also the issue of that which the Major General Somintun, the spokesperson for the SAC, also claimed that because of the long holiday period of Thinjan or Songkran, they were unable to sell the dollars that the fuel importers needed to bring in the fuel to the country. Yeah.
So just talking about dollars, how is this policy, the foreign currency policy, affect the everyday life of people in general?
We import a lot of things, including fuel, of course. We do have a lot of trading with, let's say, in Thailand and China, right? So currently right now, the conflicts in the more rural regions make it so that the land border trade routes from Thailand and from the China side, there is some closure, not actually conflict, but there are some blockages of trade routes. What's happening is that people are more reliant on shipping products that uses more dollars, right? If you're saying if we trade from Thailand, we use the baht. If we trade from China, we use the yuan. The limitation of the dollar essentially caused some products, a lot of the product prices to rise, right? So, for example, let's say a basic service like transportation, where let's say we are taking a taxi, right? So, the political issues plus the follow-up economic ramifications make it so that previously the rate of fuel per liter, it used to be around MMK, Nyamachat 700 or 800, something like that. Right now, it is more than triple the amount, right? So if you want to go somewhere to somewhere, the fuel costs are essentially doubled. So let's say you want to take a bus, a public bus, which is one of the cheapest methods of transportation in our country. It has also essentially been doubled or nearly doubled. So needless to say, people are suffering. I mean, they are not completely, it's not a situation as bad as Sri Lanka in recent days, but yeah, it is slowly getting worse.
Right. So this price has been double or almost doubled since the coup, right?
Yeah, since the coup, so yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your story today, and I hope you don't have to face so much blackout. I mean, I hope the situation get better very soon. Thank you.
Thank you for your waiting. I will have to wait for another hour for the light to come on.
และนั่นก็คือเดวิดตูนจากกรุงย่างกุ้งนะคะเล่าให้ฟังไปก็มีลุ้นไปนิดนึงว่าไฟจะตกหรือเปล่านะคะเพราะว่าในเมียนมาเนี่ยยังคงมีสถานการณ์ black out ก็คือไฟดับเป็นช่วงๆนะคะอยู่ค่ะแล้วก็ตอนนี้ก็มีสถานการณ์คือมีความกลัวว่าน้ำมันจะขาดตลาดนะคะก็เลยมีคนออกไปต่อแถวรอซื้อน้ำมันเติมน้ำมันใส่รถเอาไว้นะคะและนั่นก็คือทั้งหมดใน ASEAN Connect วันนี้ค่ะขอบพระคุณทุกท่านที่ติดตามชมช่องไทย PBS และรายการทันโลกกับที่นี่ไทย PBS ค่ะชมจบแล้วอย่าลืมกด Subscribe นะคะและกดกระดิ่งเตือนเพื่อที่จะได้ไม่พลาดทุกข่าวสารจากเราค่ะ